Good morning, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny Ray. That's what my real name is, Johnny Ray. But only my wife calls me that, and some other people who call me that, but generally just Johnny. So it's been a while since I made a video. It's a new week here in West Michigan. It is August the 13th, 2023. Is 9:11 in the morning on a Sunday morning. And yeah, I just thought since it's a new week and it's been 3 or 4 days since I made a video, I thought I'd just tell you what I've been reading, some books I got in the mail last couple of days. I'm supposed to get books in the mail this week, maybe next week. We were going to go to a book sale Friday in South Haven, but we didn't go because it's a long story, but we didn't go. But we are going to a book sale this week, weather permitting. It's a library used book sale in Hudsonville, which is just east of us, not that far away. We go there every once in a while. They have a book sale. The library, it's a small little library, and it's down in the basement, and you might find something, but it's an outing. You can get out of the hermit hut. So I'm writing in my diary, as I do throughout the day. I'm on page 697 for the year 2023. We're going towards the middle of the month. So this morning I've been reading in the mornings. Now, I told myself last week I was not going to read 6 or 7 books, and throughout the week I was going to focus on just 2 books this week. Generally just 2 books. And now I did kind of break as I got towards the end of the week. I started reading 3 books instead of one book in the mornings and 1 book in the afternoons and evenings. But I kind of got away from it somewhat. I did show you, I've been reading that Denis and the Carthusians Commentary on Davidic Psalms, Volume 4. Psalms 76 to 100, and I'm on, I think I'm on Psalm 80, and so I'm on Psalm 80, which opens up with a prayer for Israel's restoration. Give ear, O shepherd of Israel, you who lead Joseph like a flock, you who dwell between the cherubim, shine forth before Ephraim, Benjamin, and Manasseh. Stir up your strength. Come and save us. Restore us, O God. Cause your face to shine, and we shall be saved. O Lord God of hosts, how long will you be angry against the prayer of your people? You have fed them with the bread of tears and given them tears to drink in great measure. You have made us a strife to our neighbors, and our enemies laugh among themselves. And I'm on verse 7 of Psalm 80. Restore us, O God of hosts. Cause your face to shine, and we shall be saved. That's where I'm at. And Denis and the Carthusians commentary on Davidic Psalms. I'm on Psalm 80 verse 7. So I've been reading that, and then to balance it out, I've been reading Theoretical Practical Theology by the Dutch theologian. This is Theological Practical Theology, Volume Redemption in Christ, Volume 4 by Petrus van Mastricht, translated by Todd M. Reasoner. I'm almost I've read almost 450 pages out of this, and I should finish it by, I'd say maybe this is August. I should have it done by September, going into October. I want to read next Herman Bavinck's 4 volumes Dogmatics. That's what I'm going to read next. That's I like to read systematic theology since I've been reading it since 1975, and I can read it, and it's like I can meditate, contemplate, ponder it. So I'm so used to reading Reformed systematic theology. I have a master's, the divinity degree in systematics theology. So also, I break it up once in a while, also reading The Wells of Salvation, opened a treatise, the full title of this Puritan reprint, The Wells of Salvation Open, a treatise discovering the nature, preciousness, usefulness of gospel promises and rules for the right application of them, by William Spurstowe. He lived from 1605 and died in 1666. He was a 17th century English Puritan divine. This is a Puritan reprint by Soli Glory Publications, an imprint of Reformation Heritage Books. So I kind of break these up in the mornings. I'll read Denis, and then I'll read Van Mastricht, and then maybe late morning when I get my mind starts breaking down, I'll read The Wells of Salvation Opened. So I basically read those in the morning. Of course, my wife and I are reading for devotions. We read a psalm, and then we read the Valley of Vision, and then we pray. And I read for myself the prayers for the use of families by Reverend William J. So I read those in the mornings for morning worship and devotions as I'm writing in my diary. But what I read in the afternoons and evenings and at night, I've been reading primarily this week. Like I said, I was just going to focus on one book. And I'm almost done with this. Goodbye, Eastern Europe, Intimate History of the Divided Land by Jacob Mikanowski. I'm almost done with this. I've really enjoyed reading it. It's been a learning experience for me. I got maybe about 70, 80 pages left. So I've been reading this, really enjoying it. And then I showed you, and then I've been reading the Story of Russia by Orlando Figes, which goes along with Goodbye, Eastern Europe. And then I started reading yesterday. I read almost over 100 pages. I showed you this book. And the reason why I got this book is I've been reading the novels of Victor Serge. I plan to get back into this week, since I took a break from Midnight in the Century by Victor Serge, translated and with an introduction by Richard Greeman. Victor Serge was a communist anarchist. He was part of the Bolsheviks and Marxism, and then he fell out of favor with Stalin because he was very critical of Stalin, and he was imprisoned and he was exiled, and I've gone on to all that. But I buy books from Voce Press. Once in a while I buy them, and John David has had a video recently about Voce books. They tend to publish books that are leftist, Marxist, but they do have interesting books, and sometimes I look at them, and if I find something or look something interesting, I buy it. And I bought this one I showed you, Travelers of the World Revolution, the Global History of the Communist Internal by Brigitte. This is translated by David Reeds Roberts. And I started reading it. I read it over 100 pages. The reason why this book struck my interest, because she quotes Victor Serge in this work, his Memoirs of a Revolutionary. And I wanted to get a historical understanding of the Communist Internal, which was dissolved and destroyed when Stalin came to power. This just covers the 1920s. By 1930s, when Lenin died and Stalin rose to power, he dissolved or he destroyed or he killed the Bolsheviks, or they fled and he assassinated them. But I wanted to get the novels I've been reading by Victor Serge. He covers that time period of the Bolshevik Revolution, the 1920s, and I wanted to. In this, she covers 6 or 7 of the revolutionaries who were heavily involved in the Communist Internal, and just what was all going on in the beginning, after the Bolshevik Revolution, just looking at the history of that whole time period. It's very well written. I was surprised. I thought it'd be kind of dry and very technical, but it's a very interesting. I really enjoyed reading it. I just read it all day, almost yesterday, over 100 pages. And so if you want to, now I don't know her politics. I would assume that I don't know if she's sympathetic to Marxism. I don't know, but it's really interesting read. In reading this, I've gotten more insights into understanding Victor Serge's his novels and other writings of that time period by Russians and of that time period. So I'm really enjoying this. So I've been reading that along with The Story of Russia by Orlando Figes and Goodbye Eastern Europe. This has really been a good read. Because he not only brings in the history of Eastern Europe and all these countries and down there, but he looks at the history and the people, and it's just really fascinating. I've really enjoyed reading it. I highly recommend it. It's an intimate, because he had ancestors, his mother, his father, his grandfather, great-grandfather were all from Eastern Europe. I won't go into all the details, but I do recommend this. So I've been reading that. As far as what I got, books in the... No, I did get a book in the mail, that's right. I was looking at Hamilton Books. They sell books that are on discount or remainders. And I look at it once in a while just to see. Sometimes they get new books. And I came across this book I got in the mail last week. It's called Wild, The Life of Peter Beard, The Life of Peter Beard, Photographer, Adventurer, Lover by Graham Bolton. So the reason why I got this is I've had this book for a number of years, The Adventures and Misadventures of Peter Beard in Africa. He lived, I think, in Kenya, Africa, and he also lived in the United States, but he was a very famous fashion photographer. He was an adventurer. He knew like Andy Warhol, and he just lived a very interesting life. He kept a diary. he kept diaries like this. They were almost like works of art. And it's always fascinated me, his diaries. I don't keep diaries like that, but he kept them his whole life. And they're kind of like works of art, like collages, and it just fascinated me, his diaries. He did art, things like that. And he was, let's see, his diaries. And he was a photographer. That's how I got into him initially. So, and he was a photographer. He lived in Africa, and so I had this for a number of years, and then I came across this biography that I want to read about his life more. Wild, the life of Peter Beard. So I got that. And then the other day, I've been not really much leaving the house this week, trying to just stay home. But my wife was going to a local Mexican grocery store, and right across the way is Action House Thrift Store, and I went with her just to go to Action House and look around, see if they had any used books. You know, why not? She was going to go to the store, and it was right next door, so why not just go and look around? And I found this novel, The Poser, by Jacob Reuben, and it has a quote from the New York Times Book Review. If a novel can be measured by its imaginative precision, the shrewdness of its characterization, the authority of its prose, then The Poser, Jacob Reuben's smart and absorbing debut, claims its power early and rarely surrenders it. So that kind of struck me. But then also, it was recommended by the Washington Post, had a good review of it. And then it was recommended by Barry Hannah, who I collect and who I'm always looking for his books. Jacob Reuben writes with more vitality, drive, and vision than any young writer I've seen in 10 years. That's a quote from Barry Hannah. Now this came out in 2015, and I haven't really checked to see if Jacob Reuben has written anything else since this debut novel. It was also recommended by another person that I respect. What's the other one? Oh, Sam Linsky. He writes comical novels. The Poser is smart, grand, and funny, a wonderful fable. Mr. Reuben is a great hope for comic fiction in the 21st century. He's got the spirit in the ear, by Sam Linsky. And so I don't know, and it was only like 90 cents. So I'm always looking for, it just looked interesting. And then I picked up at Action House V.S. Nabal, The Middle Passage, The Caribbean Revisited. I collect him. When I got home from Action House, I looked at my V.S. Nepal collection, and I had this, The Middle Passage, The Caribbean Revisited, Travel Writings. But this is really a nice cover. My cover is pretty plain. It says here, quoting the New Statesman, quote, belongs in the same category of travel writing as Lawrence's books on Italy, Greece, and on West Africa, and Pynchon's on Spain. I like travel writings. I collect travel writings. I don't know why I don't travel. I don't even go to Grand Rapids. But I like reading about people's travels and their journeys and wanderings, and I'm on a journey. I'm going to the heavenly Zion. I'm a pilgrim on a pilgrimage. I'm on the narrow way. I'm on the highway of holiness. I'm marching to Zion. So we're all on a travel. We're all on a journey. From the minute we're born until we die, we're on this journey. And so maybe even though I don't go anywhere physically, spiritually and mentally, I'm always on the road. I'm always on the narrow way. I'm always on a journey. I'm always going on this towards heaven, towards the city of God. So I got that. So that's what's going on here. I mean, I do got books coming to end of this week, maybe next week, some used books. Tomorrow's my birthday. I might go to Blue Stockings tomorrow. And like I said, we're going to go to a Friends of the Library used book sale in Hudsonville into this week. Weather permitting, as you all know, I will not travel in a car in rain or fog or snow or ice. I can't handle it. Now around Holland, I suppose I can somewhat. I don't get too freaked out, but I don't like to be on the road when the weather is bad. I can't drive at night. I don't like driving when it's dark outside, when I can't see anything around me. It's part of being old age. Like tomorrow's my birthday, I'll be 71 years old, which freaks me out because where did all the time go? You know, I was born, I had a childhood, I had teenage years, my 20s and 30s, and I got married in my late 20s. I've been married going on 44 years, and our second child just turned 40 or 41, and I have a daughter who's 38, a son who's 42, 41. It's just, where did the time go? So I hope you had a good reading week. I hope you have a good reading week coming up. Do thank you for the new subscribers. Do thank you for the comments. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I'm enjoying, like I said, I really enjoyed yesterday reading The Travelers of the World Revolution, the global history of the communists into now. And I really enjoyed Goodbye Eastern Europe. And I always enjoy reading Denis and the Carthusian. Really enjoyed Peter at Mastricht. I've been reading his The Death of the Mediator yesterday and last week, and it was really a very blessing to meditate upon the death of Christ and how he went to the cross, suffered the wrath of God for the sins of sinners. What a blessing. Anyway, I'll sign off and hope you're, like I said, hope you're all doing well. Have a good reading week. And until next time, bye.